Alright, MrSotko here, and welcome back to another Company Heroes 2 replay cast. Today it's a 1 vs 1 on Kholodny, Ferma, Winter, between our blue OKW player, PanzerGrenadierAngreifen, and on the right side we have our US Forces player, Jove. And I don't think I've actually casted a game on Kholodny, Ferma, Winter in a while, so that's somewhat unusual. And rear echelon troops moving out to the very first territory point. And the Storm Pioneers deciding to skip their first point and let that get backcat by some Volksgrenadiers or the like. And Storm Pioneers are going to rush forward, possibly try to get into this house here to disrupt anything. It may be a little bit late, as the rear echelon troops already took it and are moving on to the next point. And the Storm Pioneers do get inside the house, and they use it to get on the other side, and are going to take that point from the US Forces now. And it is kind of a treat in the sense I haven't casted a game with US Forces in a while, or at least I haven't casted them very often, as US Forces is somewhat out of favor recently, or more of Soviet play, British play, that sort of thing, in terms of the allies. And the Storm Pioneers have capped the point right out in front of the US Forces. Now going to get inside the house there, going to take some cover for a little bit, for the impending forces to come along and defend that. And now the riflemen going to be peppering it up from both sides. Storm Pioneers surrounded to some degree. The rear echelon troops on the bottom there taking that fuel point. And Volksgrenadiers in the center there made a little bit of sandbags to stop that cover. Storm Pioneers trying to fire out, but the short-range STG, short to medium range, not really quite adequate for these riflemen here. But the Volksgrenadiers are going to come along, try and help this situation along.
Rifle squad ready for
and already losing a Volksgrenadier out of that squad, and this rifleman squad is very low, and going to lose men out of here very quickly. Storm Pioneers get inside the house, are going to pepper up the riflemen as they run in some deep snow there, slowed them down a little bit. And nearly lost that whole squad in that attempt. Kubelwagen up top, taking some territory. And now going to be moving on to the victory point. And a schwerer Wehrmacht Schlepper moving out. We'll see what he decides to get with that triple Grim Reaper tool for the OKW. And we have recruit infantry and 2 veteran infantry bulletins for the US. And so far, the heavy cavalry company versus breakthrough doctrine. US having a little hard time here. Looks like the OKW has a little bit more territory at the moment. And now the victory point has been taken, but 2 victory points for the OKW, lowering the score of the US forces for now. Gonna go back, take that point down there. And a Kubelwagen and Volksgrenadiers gonna surround these riflemen. And they are definitely in a little bit of trouble here, but some more riflemen are coming soon. Gonna try and seek cover here behind the haystack against the Volksgrenadiers at the very least, but then their back is just faced towards the Kubelwagen. So either way, those riflemen there aren't in a very good position. Now down to 2 men, but 5 men on the backside of the Kubelwagen. And we have a Sturmoffizier for the OKW. And the Kubelwagen has to back out here. Going to take a little bit too much damage from all of those forces. And so they do. Move forward, going to take the munitions point. And Kubelwagen's still going to test the waters a little bit here, pretty low. And now going to finally back out of there. The Storm Pioneers back at base there, and can just back up to them and easily repair that. Now the Sturmoffizier moving forward. One hand in that Luger. And 1-star veteran rifleman at the moment.
Point is under attack.
And we have some rear echelon troops inside the fighting position there. So far, pretty even match, 500 to 455. And Volksgrenadiers try to seek a little bit of cover behind that tractor there, but not at a very good angle. And rear echelon troops going to come from the other side. The riflemen taking a lot of damage here from the Volksgrenadiers. And now the Volksgrenadiers are going to fall very quickly here with the extra damage of the rear echelon troops. Kuba wagon all repaired and back in the action, but the rear echelon troops are peppering it up pretty good here, and it's just sort of wandering around aimlessly, you know, backing up out of there. Storm Pioneers on the way here to repair. They did make some shoe mines on the ground there, right on the road.
Regimental headquarters advised. Panzer Fusiliers are ready for action.
Only 77 munitions required for those Panzer Shreks with the triple bulletins. Storm Pioneer is going to get right up on these rear echelon troops down to 3 men, but the Kuba wagon there for some firepower as well. 75 out for the U.S. forces firing away on the area here, and a captain is out and about as well. Meanwhile, up top here, Volksgrenadiers taking the positions, but inside there, riflemen coming out of the house, going to be moving forward, going to try and cut off the points up here, and they will be able to do that if they just have a little bit of time. Now Volksgrenadiers and the riflemen going to go at it here between the house. No incendiary grenade going to get chucked as he wants to save all of those for Shreks. And now we have some Panzer Fusiliers out on the field. And Grenadiers trying to get back towards their officer. Get that aura and bonus accuracy. And this rifleman here may not survive that, and I highly doubted he would have. But RNG does come into play from time to time. 50 cal inside the fighting position, covering the majority of the victory point there. And rifleman going to make some sandbags behind here. Going to hold that position for a little while. And 75 being brought up, as well as a Rakettenwerfer. The OKW using some very anti-tank tactics with the triple Shrek reduction and a early Rakettenwerfer as well, but there is a Stuart on the way, so it's certainly a justified Rakettenwerfer. 75 going to start firing away here at the officer and the Fusilier, but they make it out of there, and going to get those Gewehr 43 rifles going. Rakettenwerfer now inside the house here, and just waiting for that Shrek, or rather the Stuart, rather, to come along to Shrek it. And officer running on home. And the officer was sniped, which causes everybody to retreat in the area when the sniper is or when the officer is lost. The one bad thing about having the officer. And that Stuart got 2 very easy kills there on that squad. Total of 4 kills on the Stuart. So far, Stuart well justified. And some Volksgrenadiers here are going to try and contest the munitions point from the captain. Going to get inside the house there to do that. And these Volksgrenadiers here have no Shrek. Unable to defend themselves from that Stuart, but he does have the munitions to be able to purchase that Shrek. Just didn't quite have the time to do so. And Rakettenwerfer now going to get into position here. Just need to turn that around, and is going camo for a moment. And the Kuba wagon going to be coming in here and possibly luring that Stuart a little bit closer. But at the moment, Stuart knows better, and now sees that that Rakettenwerfer is inside the house, can't camo it in the house. And Stuart's just going to head the other way. So I think putting it in that house was a bad idea in that sense, as it sort of gave away its position. And Regiment now moving up, going to take that victory point back from the OKW, and the Stuart still going strong here. 4 kills. Nearly a 1-star veteran already.
Get ready. Crew ready. Remember, for every second, one got your armor ready.
And riflemen bailing hard here from the Fusiliers and the Sturmofficer, and trying to make it back to the 50 cal, and there's an M5 mine on the ground here. And going to seek cover at the fence line here. Sturmoffizier jumps over the fence. And now the rifleman forced to retreat. Now going to have to retreat that from the 50 cal. So an eye for an eye there. The Shrek nearly completed on this Volksgrenadier squad here that originally had to retreat. But they will have that soon. And the Stuart will be surprised by that, but he already retreats. Could have probably got off one shot there, but either way, the U.S. has no problem with repairing their vehicles. Just pop out, repair it, and you're done. And Panzer headquarters here with the Rakettenwerfer, so quite a bit of defensive emplacements in that center. And now the Kubelwagen needs to bail from the rifleman here. Rifleman, not a one-star veteran, can't quite rifle nade that Kubelwagen, which would finish it off right about now. And still got to test the waters here with this Kubelwagen. One-star veteran forces that squad away with the advent of the Sturm Pioneers in the area. And 75 here bombarding away on this house and the Schwerer Panzer headquarters. And Shrek now going to fire at the Stuart. And did a good chunk of damage there. Now a 2-star veteran. And whenever you hit something with a bazooka or a Shrek or the like, it gives you a lot of experience. Or even chucking anti-tank grenades like conscripts. And when you hit a tank like that, you gain so much experience on a squad. So that's one way to gain very, very quick experience on a squad, is basically just hand them a couple bazookas and hit any vehicle, really. Incendiary grenade on the church forces the captain out of there. Rifle squad with a bar here, going to defend the area. There's a bazooka on the ground now. The captain had dropped that. And is that squad going to pick that up? That would be pretty nice. The rifle squad with a bar and a bazooka is always a good time. And they do pick that up. So now a very
capture point is being overrun.
Useful squad of riflemen there. Able to adapt to any situation with the bar and the bazooka. And riflemen under attack there from the 75 by the looks of it. Or perhaps that was just a Rakettenwerfer. Either way, riflemen here trying to take the munitions point, but now the Rakettenwerfer is under fire from the 75. And the ISG now firing away at the rear echelon troops. Kubelwagen is up front, but has to watch out. The Stuart's going to try and come around here and nab that Kubelwagen. Just 1 or 2 hits, and that's going to be gone. But the Rakettenwerfer there strikes the front end of that M5 Stuart. And now Stuart's going to have to back up and get out of there. Kubelwagen at about half health, nearly a 2-star veteran, just a few more hits on something to get that going strong there, and have better mobility. And as they continue, now a 2-star veteran Kubelwagen backing up into the action here, and this isn't good. He's going to lose this here. And more than likely going to lose that. He was using an anti-tank rifle grenade to take that out, but the Stuart finishes it off. And so difficult to have a Kubelwagen the entire game. And Volksgrenadiers here in the middle of quite a bit. And the 75 in trouble. The 57 already backing out of there. And now the Stuart trying to get around here. It's a little bit stuck on the territory. And if these Volksgrenadiers only knew that it was backed up into this corner. And can they see that? They have to be. Oh, it's so close, but they should see these tracks that are right there. And I'm going to have to retreat these ones here. And the Shrek will strike the Stuart there, but won't be able to finish it off. He's going to be too low on health to stick around. And if he sticks around, he's going to lose the whole squad there, and he does lose the whole squad because of that. And meanwhile, the center captain here holding out, but the ISG firing away on that, as well as a Rakettenwerfer, and the Stuart, or rather the Fusiliers, firing away. Stuart has survived the madness for now, and Fusiliers decide to bail. And Captain holding out really well here. Still 5 men in the squad, barely taking any damage.
My squad's
And soon that building will collapse. And it would probably be better off just to bombard it here with a real quick barrage from that ISG just to get rid of that building. As it's more of a detriment to him than really a positive, as he doesn't really get to use it all that much. And here comes some riflemen now inside the building. And I'm going to start firing away on these Sturm Pioneers that are creating the shoe mines there on the ground. And a Panzer IV J out in the field now. And Rakettenwerfer moving up here, going to try and get rid of this fighting position.
A capture point is being overrun.
I'm going to make some more shoe mines on the ground, but going to get caught by the riflemen here. So I'm not going to be able to finish those, and if they do, that's not going to be good. And decides to cancel those, get rid of the Rakettenwerfer and the Sturm Pioneers back to base. And now the Panzer IV comes to the bottom to harass the riflemen here. And they are balled up really well for that Panzer IV there, and they decide to run. Panzer IV could take out that fighting position down on the bottom. We have some Rangers out of the field with Thompsons. Panzer IV now moving around the side. And 57 going to set up and fire on that Panzer IV here. And a nice hit there from the 57. And still trying to take out that 57 here, and this could be a gamble. And does decrew that 57. Is he going to try and destroy it? One hit and that 57 will be destroyed. Just a matter of getting that hit on it. One more and destroys the 57. No more worrying about that 57. The U.S. forces will have to make another one of those to be able to deal with that Panzer IV. And territory point being taken there by Volksgrenadiers, but one of them took an excellent hit from the 75, forces them away. And meanwhile up top, Fusiliers taking the victory point, so 2 victory points to 1. 433 for the OKW, 369 for the U.S. forces. And I'm not sure if it was actually on or not, but my AC unit may have been on, as I do live in Arizona, and it is very, very hot, to say the least, in Arizona. So my AC unit is pretty much perpetually on, and I think I may have forgot to turn it off. So if that was in the background, I do apologize, but just know that it's very, very hot, and it's certainly a justified AC unit. Rangers force away the units from that area there. And Rangers just so good with all of those Thompsons. Unfortunately, no real way to deal with tanks unless you slap some Zooks on them, which is certainly a possibility. An M5 mine going to go down here on the ground from the riflemen. And M5 mines, one of the slowest mines to place in the game, takes forever, and adding additional riflemen does not speed it up. I'm not sure if that's actually a bug or not. That sort of has never been fixed, but no matter how many riflemen you have on an M5 mine, it still builds the same speed, or at least it seems like it does. And now the Panzer IV backing its rear up, which is always a bold choice, going after some of those riflemen there. And Panzer IV with 6 kills, not too bad there.
Listen up, fella. Here it comes. AT gun ready. What the hell am I meant to do with these recruits? Steady up, fellas. We're losing a capture point. Grab your shit. Get ready. Listen up. Here's the deal.
Stuart is complete, and Rangers
Our supply
helping
line just got
to
cut
take
off.
some territory here. Your rear echelon troops taking the munitions point. And the Panzer IV moving forward, but the captain right in the front there, and a couple of Zooks strike the front end of the Panzer IV there, but not too much damage. And Sturm Officer moving over. Gonna run right into that M5 mine, only for tanks. Oh no, he actually has the mine detector there, so never mind. These ones actually might hit it. And so close, yet so far. Maybe the mine detector had that up front there.
The enemy is overrunning running one of our capture points.
A couple of Volksgrenadier down at the bottom here. And the Stuart coming down to help defend this area here, a 4-star and a 2-star. But the Ranger is forcing them out of there with all of that heavy light machine gun power, rather. Submachine gun, rather, too. Not that. As the Thompson uses 45 ACP, which makes it a submachine gun.
Ready for action. Send orders. Enemy infantry.
And yeah, I believe I was confused momentarily, as the Teller mine is for tanks. The M5 goes off from anything, and the modified M6 from the British goes off from anything as well.
Relay orders.
And I actually play US the most,
Standing by for
so I
sending
should have known that right off the bat, but oh well, can't know everything. Rifleman behind the victory point there, holding out pretty strong. Has some sandbags to help them out, but the Fusiliers long range are hiding out back there as well, and the ISG is firing on them. And now here comes the Panzer IV. Panzer IV could run over the sandbags there, at least to some degree, or at least take them out just with its cannon. Get rid of that cover there, and it does in one shot. Meanwhile, down at the bottom here, a couple of Volksgrenadiers dealing with the Rangers. Rangers going to huck her grenade, and only one man takes the brunt of that. U.S. backing up here, the 57 and the 75 in danger. The Stuart is the only thing to defend this, and the Fusiliers can huck anti-tank rifle grenades. Captain now down for the U.S., and now the Panzer IV going to fire away on the Stuart. Panzer IV actually took a shot there from the 75 and did some damage. Now took a shot from the 57, and we'll have to bail out of there now. A little bit too low. Stern Pioneers need to go and repair that, but the Fusiliers are up front to decrew that 57. And now the Panzer IV is ready to go in again, but the Riflemen are up front here, going to hit it with a bazooka. And that's going to do a little bit more damage. And looks like they couldn't get the shot off in time, but might be able to get the shot off. Nope, they do, but it misses. And a Jagdpanzer now on the field for the OKW as well. And all the action going on is up top here. Ranger's going to be moving by all of the action. They'll try and cap something. And the OKW right now has some very serious armor compared to the US, with just that Stuart out in the field.
Standing by. Utter your orders.
Panzer IV needs repaired fairly desperately, and the Schwerer Wehrmacht was moving out.
Prepare for combat.
And now going to make the mechanized regiment headquarters for the OKW, and that'll help repair up that Panzer IV, unless he's going to do it with his Stern Pioneer, or both, one of the two. I'm going to skip that munitions point and move on down past the 50 cal,
Is sustaining fire.
and going to Shrek that 50 cal now. And 50 cal position will be lost here, and one more volley,
Fighting position.
and that will open up the bottom for the OKW fairly well now, as that was hindering them for some time. Double Shreks. We're trying to go after that Stuart, but Stuart a little bit too quick for him. And Panzer Fusiliers in the middle of the road here, way too close to those Rangers. And they take too much damage from that. And now the Volksgrenadier is going to run on home. And a grenade going to land right in the way of them all, and did some good damage to the front one. Rangers trying to take down that squad, but not going to be able to do that. It's going to get away. And rear echelon troops now up at the top here. Double Shrekking the rear side of the Jagdpanzer. Here comes a ISG, going to land right on the squad there. Takes out one man, but now makes it a 3-star squad.
We got a new unit ready and on the field.
And now the U.S. has 2 victory points, 396 to 310. And a Pershing is on the field now for the U.S. Pershing has excellent range, not quite as heavy as the other heavy tanks, but its range makes up for that.
Yageteers have arrived on the front. Stand by. Ready for action. Send orders. Steady yourself.
Jagdtiger can now be called in by the OKW, but that's going to be some time before he'll have the funds for that. So I doubt we will see that this game. These Stern Pioneers are going to be taking the top side victory point. Meanwhile, the Pershing laying down a bunch of heat. And some Volksgrenadiers going to go to the bottom. Going to take all of this and the munitions point. And the Panzer IV down there to support them.
We can now deploy a smoke screen to blind the enemy.
This is it.
Crew ready.
Pershing trying to defend that victory point there is now on
Incoming!
priority fire for vehicles. And no vehicles in the area except for the Jagdpanzer, of course. Now down the bottom, the Panzer IV has found the Stuart. Stuart takes a shot. And takes a lot of damage. The Panzer IV takes a shot from the Stuart and a Zook, but doesn't do too much damage. And one Volksgrenadier or Panzer Fusilier lost. Not sure which one they were. Or Stern Pioneers, maybe. They were a Stern Pioneer squad, yep. Pershing now going to come around the corner here, and the Jagdpanzer will fire and penetrates the front end of the Pershing. And now the Pershing will fire back here. Jagdpanzer trying to get away. And a Shrek there on the ground for the taking. And who will pick that up? Two Rangers on the field here. Two Rangers down here, so a ton of damage. And the Panzer IV will now have to back out of here. There's a little bit too many bazookas on that rear echelon squad. Jagdpanzer has tasted Pershing blood and is not going to try again here. And a deflection from the Pershing. Pershing, however, lands just fine. And another deflection of the Jagdpanzer. And two Panzer Fusiliers versus one Rifleman squad with just a bar. And they lose out on that. And Rangers now down at the bottom, going to take the victory point, going to take that back for the U.S., but at the same time, the OKW is going to be taking the top of victory point from the U.S. The 75 here, firing away, now crewed by what looks like rear echelon troops.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
And now decrewed by Panzer Fusiliers, and they are going to take that by the looks of it, because why not? 75 is amazing, except for I don't really care for its price. I think it's a little overpriced, but it certainly is an amazing unit, and is a anti-tank grenade going to go after that Stuart, and does not seem like the case. But the Panzer IV will fire at it once or twice here, but going to miss it, and no damage taken on that Stuart this time around. Volksgrenadier and the Panzer Fusilier chase away the Rangers, and we'll now take that back for the OKW. But two U.S. riflemen now coming down may overwhelm the Fusiliers. Meanwhile, the Volksgrenadier is going to go down there and take that while they give the Fusiliers the glorious duty of dealing with two rifleman squads and a Stuart, which they immediately flee from. You know, the Panzer IV now coming down to the bottom side. And the Volksgrenadiers will flee immediately before even engaging, so that they don't lose too many men, as he knew he was going to lose that one right off the bat. And Panzer IV now coming around, but the two Zook echelon squad here going to fire. And that will force that Panzer IV out of there in a quick hurry. 209 fuel for the OKW. Is working towards that Jagdtiger, or even a King Tiger for that matter.
The capture point is being overrun.
Jagdpanzer takes a couple shots that it did not want to take, and is now low on health. The Rangers going to come around the backside, will decrew this Rakettenwerfer in a quick hurry. That's exactly what they're doing, going to get rid of that. And Rangers could actually pick that up and just sort of turn that on the Panzer IV, or even the Riflemen, one of the two. And ISG desperately backing up here. The 75 has been placed behind the house and is now being used against the U.S. forces. 2 men in this Fusilier squad, 5-star squad, would want to get out of there as soon as possible. And the Pershing there takes a couple side shots from the Schwerer Panzer headquarters. And now the Panzer IV sees blood and wants it, but the Pershing,
Crew ready.
a very lethal target.
Send your orders. Back to full strength.
Jagdpanzer going to get repaired by the Mechanized Regiment headquarters. Meanwhile, the Stern Pioneers repairing up the Panzer IV.
Armor here.
And unable to decrew the Pershing, so that will have to be repaired up by rear echelon troops.
Ready. Armor here. Area secured. Check your ammo. Send your orders.
Now 381 to 217 for the U.S. forces there. And only 1 victory point for the U.S. forces right now, so it's still continuing to drop in points. A shoe mine being buried behind the church there. Sherman moving up a little bit, looking for some more trouble. The shoe mine had to have been seen there by the Riflemen. Riflemen going to run right into it and loses a ton of them. Nearly lost the whole squad there. That's going to cost him a pretty penny to replace those 4 men there.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
Stewart takes a Shrek there, but not going to take more than another one or 2, and they run before they get another shot off. The Fusiliers with a Shrek as well. The Jagdpanzer coming on down. I was hoping that Stewart would move forward a little bit, but it is not going to do just that. And now the Jagdpanzer may be in a little bit of trouble, but no, the Pershing goes the other way. If the Pershing would have gotten around the backside of that Jagdpanzer, that certainly wouldn't have been good.
Just got a report
Or said
of an
Jagdpanzer.
infantry unit being wiped out.
Infantry unit lost for the U.S. forces. Didn't quite see what it was. More likely a Rifleman squad.
Tank ready.
Sturm officer here caught in the Pershing's barrel. Doesn't lose any men. And here comes the Panzer IV. Panzer IV going to fire around and gets a nice shot there in the rear side of the tank. And the Panzer IV going to take a front hit, a big ol' hit, and the Jagdpanzer does penetrate. Panzer IV fires again, but hits the ground and strikes one of those Rangers instead. Meanwhile, the Jagdpanzer are going to try and hunt down that Pershing, but decides against that. Nothing to provide any vision up here to see what is going on there.
Position taken. Good work, boys.
Stern Pioneer is going to repair up that Panzer IV real quick. Now a 3-star veteran and a Shrek Volksgrenadier squad and a Shrek Fusilier squad moving down to the bottom here.
Tank support
And
is
the
here.
Stewart
Sherman ready.
about to take a couple Shreks here.
We're losing a capture
Fusiliers
point.
move forward. And here comes the first one. The second one strikes the Stewart. Stewart in a little bit of trouble now. 3-star veteran.
Our supply
But we'll
line
have
just
to
got
back
cut
out
off.
now. The Jagdpanzer came along to help out, but was a little bit too late. Now Sherman is out on the field here. Sherman takes a shot from the Jagdpanzer. And an anti-tank grenade there from the Fusiliers damaged the engine of the Sherman. Sherman now lost to the combination of all those Shreks and Jagdpanzer. And the Pershing has been fully repaired. Panzer IV have to deal with that all alone. Panzer IV no match there for the Pershing. And now going to blitz out of there. And he's trying to blitz as fast as he can, but he's just getting caught up on all the terrain. And the Fusiliers could really use an anti-tank grenade on that Pershing so that the Panzer IV could get away. And Panzer IV may not get out of this one alive. It is a dangerous situation. And he does force away the bazookas and nothing else around to kill off that Panzer IV. So close, yet so far on that Panzer IV. Meanwhile, the Jagdpanzer now taking a little bit too much damage. Jagdpanzer camos. And the Pershing tries to ground fire where that Jagdpanzer is. And that was fairly clever of that Jagdpanzer to just camo right in front of it. I'm not sure if that should even be really allowed, but it certainly is a game mechanic. And it certainly did the job, so good job, Jagdpanzer there for camoing right in front of the Jagdpanzer. And how they did that, nobody will ever know, but the Panzer IV also did quite well. 4-star veteran, nearly 5-star. But I hope you guys enjoyed this replay, and I'll see you guys next time.